everyone. Oh, this is amazing. We need a bigger room, I think. We need to have more people. This is amazing. Thank you all so much for coming. Yes! There we go. Now we're talking. Okay. Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here in the Ukraine. This is my first time to Ukraine, and it's amazing to see so many people who are enthusiastic about the ideas of democratic education, or maybe even education, or maybe even childhood. In the end, that's actually what we're talking about, that period of time of childhood that's so important. So first of all, I want to introduce you to this little logo over here. So this is celebrating, in 2021, Summerhill is going to be 100 years old. I know! Who would have thought, hey? That crazy idea that some Scotsman had would actually last for 100 years. So, just quickly, all I want to say about this is that in 2021, we are wanting to invite everybody who has been inspired by A.S. Neil or is generally doing a really cool thing within education to join in the celebrations. Whether that means coming to England, obviously that's not always easy, but if you can't come to England, we would like you to celebrate in your own schools or in your own area. Yes, you have to celebrate. Yes, this is pressure. Do you understand? This is not freedom. No. This is pressure. You must celebrate. Good. All right. So at the bottom here is an email address, 100years@summerhillschool.co.uk. And this email address, if you want to sign up to our mailing list, this is our mailing list to find out more information about what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing some celebrations this year, or we've just done some celebrations this year. We hosted an event called the Summerhill Experience that was amazing. And then next year we've got some plans, and then for 2021 we have some plans. So please do. Shall I get out the way and you can take? I'm in the way. Sorry. Okay. Cool. So apart from that, I'm just going to have a slideshow of photographs. Okay, I'm not going to have statistics, boring, no. I'm just going to show you photographs of lots of children having fun, playing, and, this sort of thing. So that if I get boring, if you get bored of me, then you can look at nice pictures. Okay, yes, this is the plan. Okay. Yes, Neil, yes! Anyway. Okay, so now I'm doing a talk today now, and I'm going to do a talk tomorrow. And now the plan is, today I'm going to talk about the core philosophy of Summerhill, more about the actual system of Summerhill, okay? And then tomorrow I'm going to talk about a child's, kind of going through the system of Summerhill from a child's perspective, the different stages that the child goes through when they're coming to Summerhill, okay? So if there's anything of the core philosophy, because I've done this, the talk I'm about to do now, I've done a few times before. It's generally quite fun. We like to have fun. So, but if it is that you've seen the core philosophy, my talk about the core philosophy before, then you can, okay, I will go then. You're boring, Henry. Okay. So first of all, A.S. Neil believed in educating the whole child. Yeah. Now, he called the state education educating from the neck up. Yeah. At Summerhill, we like to make sure that we educate the heart, the emotions, the feelings, the social interaction. Yeah. Social and emotional development at Summerhill is our fundamental, the first goal. Yeah. This is something that I find often in education conferences that, we always seem to talk about education. We talk about the learning, but we don't necessarily talk about the living. And from our perspective, you have to get the emotional side of things sorted out first. The children have to have a fulfilled childhood. They have to have those needs, those young needs fulfilled. And at Summerhill, this is what we see as the most important thing. So there's four main elements to the Summerhill philosophy. Okay? The first one, and I'm going to test you on this tomorrow. You're laughing now, but I get very strict. I'm watching you. 4. How many? Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, I'm normally quite silly. I'm pre-warning you. I'm quite silly. Okay. 4. The first part, the fundamental, most important part, this is the same for democratic education and as a whole, the first most important part is freedom. Now, freedom is not always so easy to trust. How many people work in the state system? Put your hands up if you work in the state system. Oh, not actually as many as I thought. How many of you are parents? Okay, I see, okay. Yeah, okay, so, but, I mean, giving children freedom makes us a bit anxious, doesn't it? We're sort of thinking, okay, slightly worried now. Letting children make decisions about their own life, not so easy as a parent, not so easy as an educator. The most beautiful part of giving freedom, using freedom as the fundamental tool within education, it means that what we're actually doing is we're accessing the most powerful learning in the world. Because we're relying on natural childhood. Natural childhood, we are the most powerful learners in the world. The thing that's really different is that we as children are continuously learning about our own lives. If you give freedom, then children are naturally learning about themselves and what's best for them. It sounds a bit selfish, but it's actually true and it's really needed. It's really important. Yeah? The problem that we have within education is that we think we know best about what is best for children through all of our experiences. Oh, I've had lots of bad experiences in my life. I want to make sure my child doesn't experience the same thing. Children are the most powerful tool to learn about themselves. And to fulfill their childhood, they need freedom. They need access to that most powerful freedom. Yeah? So, the freedom, the personal freedom at Summerhill is absolute. You can do whatever you want. You can take risks. You can wear whatever you want. You can wear nothing at all if you want to. I mean, Jesus. You can swear. You can swear. You can swear at children. I mean, I get it all the time. I don't know why. Freedom is really important to use in that kind of way. And it has to be true, absolute freedom. At Summerhill, it is true, absolute freedom. And from our perspective, it works the best way. But this also concerns us, and this concerns us because freedom means that we are also accessing the raw elements of nature. Okay? Now, these are wonderful in many ways, but at the same time, there is this thing called survival of the fittest, where one always wants to get over the top of another one. And children do this naturally. They do it through play. They push boundaries. That's what they do. So, A.S. Neal never spoke about freedom on its own. He would always say, freedom, not license. Freedom without license. And what this actually means is freedom with responsibility. So he would never say freedom on its own. And it's really important that people understand this. It's not about giving freedom so people can do anything they want to and dominate over other people. It's not about that. It's about freedom with responsibility. I'm free to do whatever I want, but I'm not allowed to impose on someone else's freedom. I'm not allowed to make you upset. It's not okay. Of course it's not okay. Yeah? So freedom, not license, freedom with responsibility, is the absolute foundation stone of every single thing that Summerhill is. And we talk about freedom without license before we talk about democracy. We use democracy as a tool to run our community, but we don't. Democracy is not the core. Freedom without license is the core. And that difference is really important. So, that's number one. Are you with me so far? Yeah. No? Good. I'm glad we've got a rebel. Excellent. Okay. So, the next core part of the Summerhill philosophy is equality. Now, equality it's born from freedom without license. It's the same kind of thing. Of course, we have we have equality within freedom without license. Yeah. But the equality we talk about in the terms of there's two terms actually. The political way. When we're making decisions at Summerhill School, the same in many democratic schools, when we're running our day-to-day lives and we're making laws and we're making decisions within the community, we all have an equal vote. My vote and a 6-year-old's vote is the same. We both have the same rights within the community. Yeah? This is important from the living perspective, but it's also a hugely powerful tool in the learning perspective. I'll talk about this a little bit later on. But it creates a really powerful learning environment when you have equality in that kind of way. It's really powerful. I'll talk about it a bit later. So, the other thing to do with equality that's really important is emotional equality. Now, A.S. Neal believed that Summerhill School was is the most sincere place in the world. Yeah? The important part of it is that we are true to our emotions and our feelings. We have to be true to ourselves. When you're learning about social and emotional development and you're learning how to live with other people, you have to be honest with yourself. Most importantly, you have to be honest with yourself. Yeah, you have to be true to your boundaries. You have to say if someone is doing something that you're not happy with. You have to be honest. That's really powerful. And we want kids to do that with each other as well. We want adults and kids to do it. If I'm eating my lunch and a 5-year-old starts climbing all over me, I'm going to tell them to go away because I'm eating my lunch. I mean, they're really cute. It's quite difficult sometimes, aren't they? Because they're really small and really cute. And they're quite annoying sometimes as well, aren't they? They know they're cute, don't they? We all know how they use it as well, don't they? But this honesty is really important. It's really important to be sincere to yourself, to learn about yourself, to be true to yourself. You don't have to be horrible. You don't have to hit people or shout at people. It's not about that necessarily. You just have to be true to yourself. And this is the same in every situation, really. This is not only a thing about education. It's a really great thing to imply in the home life as well. You know, I mean, parents, you've got a life too. And let your kids get on with their life and you get on with your life. And that's okay. You don't have to always be on top of each other all the time. And it's a really important angle. That honesty. Can you clean up that mess? Because this is my room. Make your mess in your room. Yeah. So that emotional honesty is really powerful. So that's number 2, equality. Number 3 is the Summerhill meeting process. Now, A.S. Neal said you can't give freedom unless you give the opportunity to self-govern their own social life. Yeah? And this is really powerful as well, because again, it comes back to that whole thing of equality. If we create a law, and if someone breaks the law, that's not okay. If someone upsets someone, if someone insults someone, that's not okay. So you have to be able to have a way of resolving that. Yeah? So, there's a few things about the Summerhill meeting. We have 3 meetings per week at Summerhill. And these meetings are only an hour long, and within those meetings, we create all of the laws, and we solve conflict, so we can bring someone up in the meeting. Okay? Now, so what I'll do is I'm going to just quickly tell you a story that will kind of paint the picture of how this all works, okay? In a simple form, okay? So, at the moment, I'll just quickly tell you, at the moment, at Summerhill School, we have roughly 450 laws. 450? The last time I looked, there was 250, and I was kept on doing talks and saying, oh, we've got 250 laws. It's 450! That's not freedom at all. There's no freedom. I do, yes. No. No one knows all of them, of course not. No. You know the ones that are important to you. That's the ones. You'll see. Okay. So, we had a trampoline come to Summerhill. Okay, you all know trampoline? Okay. We had a trampoline come to Summerhill, and straight away we had loads of conflict. No, it's my turn. No, it's my turn. No, you me. You know. Yeah? And that was just the staff members. You know. You know. So, we decided we need to resolve the problem of the trampoline. So we took the trampoline to the meeting. Okay, no, we didn't take the trampoline to the meeting. Because that would be like the best meeting ever, wouldn't it? Can you imagine that? Woohoo! No. We didn't take the trampoline to the meeting. We discussed the trampoline in the meeting. And we came up with a few laws, okay? The first law was no shoes on the trampoline. That's pretty good, huh? You know what I'm saying. The second law is you are free to use the trampoline for as long as you like. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, freedom without license. But, if someone else comes and wants to have a go on the trampoline, then you have 5 minutes. And you have to get off the trampoline and let someone else have a go. It's quite simple, isn't it? It seems like sensible, really. Okay, so, one day, I went on the trampoline. Happy. Deputy principal of Summerhill School, everybody. Very important job. Lots of responsibility. A 6-year-old girl comes to the trampoline. And she says, Henry, you have 5 minutes. Not quite so happy now, being honest, She said, Henry, you now have 4 minutes. I could see she was enjoying it as well. She then said, Henry, you now only have 3 minutes. She's looking at her watch like this. The trouble when you give children rights. Actually, she wasn't looking at a watch. She was looking at her phone like this. She said, now, Henry, you only have 2 minutes. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking, okay, maybe we need some hierarchy here. Come on, look, I'm the deputy principal of Summerhill School. I'm really big. I'm strong. She's really small. Starting to regret the whole idea. My grandfather's silly idea. So, Henry, you only have 1 minute left. She's really enjoying this moment. Really enjoying it. 6 years old. She says, okay, Henry, now, get off. Time's up. Bit like that. I went, yeah, really immature, I know. It's good fun, though. Okay, so she says, so we have a conflict in this situation. She says, Henry, I'm going to get an ombudsman. Now, an ombudsman is an elder member of the community who so it's a part of a committee of our oldest members, and they are there to help solve conflict in kind of instant situations. You've got a problem, you go to an ombudsman. Yeah, we've got 10 ombudsmen, and they're all our big guys. They're amazing. Yeah? So, kind of like him. Don't know how that turned out. Anyway. Okay, so she runs off. And she comes back with this ombudsman who's really big. She's walking like that. And he's walking like that. I'm jumping on the trampoline and I'm still looking up at him. I don't even know how that works. This guy's huge. And okay. So he comes and says, Henry, get off. Your 5 minutes is out. Henry, get off. In fact, no, it wasn't like Henry, Henry, get off. Like that. So I thought, well, why not? One more time. So I went, again. One more time. Okay. So in this situation, she says, Henry, I'm bringing you up in the meeting. So we go to the meeting and it's discussed. It's really quite simple. We don't talk about it in real depth. They say to her, what happened? She said, Henry broke the 5-minute law. I told him to get off. He didn't get off. They said to me, Henry, did you do it? And I said, no. I mean, come on. Why would I do such a thing? Okay, so she said, so we discuss it in the meeting, and it is proposed in the meeting that I get a 24-hour trampoline ban. So I'm not allowed to use the trampoline for 24 hours. I mean, Jesus, it's heavy, isn't it? So, okay. So there's a few things. This is how the system works, okay? In real simple terms. There's a few things that are really important here. First of all, actually it's about me. First of all, I have a deterrent. If you do that again, you're probably going to get another 24-hour trampoline ban. And so, and I like jumping on the trampoline. So, yeah, it's quite a simple thing. The second side of it that's also really important is that she has got a sense of justice. A sense of equality is happening there. The school created a law. That law is the most important thing because it was created by the whole community. And that value that children hold to those laws and making decisions in that way is hugely powerful, hugely powerful. The meeting in Summerhill is the hierarchy. It wins. If it is that we make a decision at the school, that decision will happen. And that is it. But all of us are part of the meeting because we all have one vote in all of the decisions. Yeah, so it's a really kind of simple context. And the other thing that's really nice about it as well is it's not about a punishment. It's not a personal thing. We're not saying that you're a bad person for what you did. We're just saying we love you to bits, we love all of you, but what you did is unacceptable. Does that make sense? And that the thing I think I find that's so beautiful about it is that children use it. Cases, little tiny 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds, and older kids as well, bring cases to the meeting all the time. We have 3 meetings per week, and every single meeting is filled with cases. Sometimes not always conflict. Sometimes it's making laws. Sometimes it's talking about screening laws. How long are you allowed to play computer games for a day? I mean, these are like absolute frontline topics that we are all talking about within education. Screening laws is a very perfect example. The kids bring these discussions to the meeting. They talk about it. You've got the age range from 5 to 18 all talking about these amazingly powerful topics and making decisions about their own lives, of the way they do things. It's a really powerful thing. And sometimes the meeting cases are quite simple. Henry, get off the trampoline. And sometimes they're really, really deep things. Sometimes we do a lot of talking about it and we just have discussions and we kind of make sure that we're coming from all different angles to make sure that we're really trying things out within our community. It's really powerful. So, I'm just going to check how I'm doing on time here because I can talk a bit. Huh? Time's up? Oh, 45, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I could talk for so much longer. Okay. So just quickly, well actually I've got 2 more minutes on my watch. Okay. So the other part I'll just explain quickly is that the most important thing about those 3 parts of the core philosophy of Summerhill means that you can give childhood back to children. They can access their own, they can be in charge of their own lives. They can make their decisions, they can push boundaries, they can learn, they can make mistakes. Oh, wonderful. They can actually make mistakes, which is brilliant. Rather than having us all around them saying, no, don't do that because it might hurt you, or don't do that because that's bad for you, or if you do that, it's better for you. Kids can learn by doing. It's the most powerful tool ever. Yeah. And so they own their childhood. The next thing I'll quickly say is the 4th part of the philosophy, and probably this is most of the reason why you guys are all here, is non-compulsion to lessons. The freedom to choose whether to go to lessons or not. Okay? Now, I'll talk about this, obviously we haven't got a hell of a lot of time left, so I'll talk about it in quite simple form. The most important part of choice about when to go to lessons means that, A, we purely individualize education. We remove expectation. At Summerhill, we remove expectation from parents. It's really important that parents don't put their expectation of what they think is best for children. Yeah? The non-compulsion to lessons means that children are purely accessing their own time frame of when interest, when motivation. You know, they find their own passions. They look for things when they're ready to look for things. They'll socialize when they want to socialize. A lot of children come to Summerhill who have come from very, very difficult backgrounds, and they need time. They need to be trusted. They need to be loved. They need to just have time to just be children and then access learning when they're ready. It's the most powerful learning tool at Summerhill. We don't actually, something that's really interesting, people often think that Summerhill has a very specific pedagogy of the way we actually teach, what actually happens in the classroom. How do we do that at Summerhill? It's actually very conventional. Very, very, very conventional. We have wonderful relationships between the teacher and the children. There's a mutual respecting relationship there straight away. You've got non-compulsion, which means children are there because they want to be there. I mean, can any of you people who teach in the state system imagine the difference if your whole class were there because they wanted to be there? You can try and create those moments within classrooms, and it's just so hard. It's so hard. I was doing an interview earlier, and the people I respect most on this planet are the teachers who work in the state system. It's so hard to have a situation where children are there through compulsion. They have to be there, which means that already, before you've started anything, you're starting in a negative learning environment. The power of non-compulsion is just so huge. We have teachers who just say, oh my God, they're like sponges. You don't have to keep drilling everything in. You don't have to try to make them learn. They just learn. They're ready for it. It's such a powerful thing. And the other thing that's so powerful is that natural child's play can happen for as long as it wants. As long as children need. It is the most beautiful thing at Summerhill, how you just see, you walk down the drive at Summerhill and there's kids playing. And they're playing, and they're playing, and then they play, and then they play. You know what I'm going to say next, don't you? And then they play, and then they play, and then, I'm a bit... Oh, there's a classroom. I wonder what that is. Oh, and then they play in the classroom. We, living the world of fantasy, is what children do. We, killing dragons. Children, we do not have a dragon problem at Summerhill School. Or an orc problem. Or zombies. We don't have any zombies at Summerhill. I bet you're all jealous. You know, there's no zombies. We've got a workshop that is open space, and children go in, quick, I need sword, quick now, zombies outside, quick, kill zombie, yes! No zombies. Yeah. So if there's anything you can take back, if you've got a zombie problem, just give us a ring. Yeah, we'll sort it out. So the last little thing I'll just quickly add is that we do, believe it or not, we do offer qualifications at Summerhill. We offer the UK national qualification at Summerhill, GCSEs. And we have generally every year, give or take a tiny bit, but generally every year we have higher than the national average in pass rate for GCSE. Yeah? And so the actual time zone between the state system and Summerhill is the same. It's just that the classroom time is a bit less. Yeah? They will spend maybe 3 or 4 years in the classroom rather than drilling it at really young ages, you know? And things like that. So that means that they have that wonderful time of natural play. And then they build their own a positive emotional connection to learning. And then they enter the classroom when they want to and take on those next responsibilities. Cool. Okay. Cool. I'll finish there. Sorry, everyone, that I took a bit extra and I went over a little bit. I get a bit excited and I talk stuff. So thank you all very much for coming. Oh, cool. Oh. Yes, excellent. Lovely. Brilliant. Thank you. we haven't had time for a Q&A as well, and I know there must be loads of you who have lots of questions. I will be around for a little bit for the next sort of 15 to 20 minutes. I'll be around in the front hallway bit, and if anybody wants to come and ask me questions or anything, then I'm around. So thank you all very much. Thank you.